I've looked into thousands of closets over the last 17 years, and when I'm working with someone and I see that they have a closet that is full of clothes, you can't even fit any more pieces in there, they're usually still having trouble getting dressed because of one of the 6 things I'm going to share in today's video. So if you are also like that, if you are someone that you have so many clothes, every time you need to go somewhere or have something to do, you go shopping, you buy more clothes, but you're still at a loss for getting dressed easily every day, you're probably making wardrobe mistakes I'm going to share in today's video. If we haven't met yet, America, I've been a stylist for over 17 years, and I used to style for television and films and commercials, and now I solely focus on one-on-one personal styling. And I also bring in my master's in psychology because why we usually do something that keeps us stuck, like having more clothes or shopping more and still feeling like we have nothing to wear, it usually comes down to some habit or some belief or something that is on a psychological level, something that we're doing or not doing. And that's what this video is going to be all about. Now, most of the women I work with are in their 30s, 40s, or even beyond, and they've had kids, or they've gained weight because of hormone changes, or their clothes just don't fit like they used to. And what happens here is a mistake that I see that women make is that they don't buy clothes that actually fit their current body. They're holding on to that pair of jeans that they had from 10 years ago, or they won't buy nice quality pieces because they want to get back to their old weight, but their weight hasn't changed in over 6 months or a year. So they're not really serving the body they have now. They're focused on trying to fit into this idealized version of themselves, this past version of themselves. So they keep waiting. And this is a mistake because it doesn't make you feel good day to day when you're getting dressed. If you've been holding on to clothes that were from a previous time in your life or even a previous body, and you've had them for a long time, maybe 6 months or a year or even longer, and you aren't buying clothes that actually fit your current body now, that's really damaging to you, not just from a physical getting dressed every morning and the stress that brings when you're looking at a closet full of clothes that don't fit, but it's also emotionally stressful because it doesn't make us feel good when we don't have clothes that fit our body well, when we're hiding or we're buying things that are just okay because we need something to wear, but we don't want to buy something that we're going to actually love or that's going to fit our current body, so we stay stuck. And this is one that I can definitely relate to because as someone that has curated my wardrobe over many years and has really loved the pieces in my closet, I came to a point where things just weren't fitting right anymore. I was trying to get into shorts or dresses that were a little too tight or a little too short because my body had changed, and it wasn't really working for me. So I finally decided that it was time to let these pieces go, that this is my body, accept my body now. Yes, am I always going to be exercising and taking good care of my body and eating right? And maybe one day that will change my body again. But for right now, for where I'm at in my life, it's more important to have clothes that I feel good in, that fit my body, and that aren't making me wait for some other time. And this comes down to accepting the body you have now and finding the clothes that are going to fit your body today, not waiting for a different body or the body you used to have or to fit back into your jeans from 10 years ago. But it's finding the clothes that you feel good in today as you are. And if this video has been helpful so far, make sure to grab my free top 27 style tips for women. These are the things that I share with my personal styling clients that will help you have and build a wardrobe of clothes that you are excited to wear, that you feel good wearing, and that you'll reach for, so that getting dressed every morning becomes easy, you feel confident anytime you have anywhere to go. So you can grab that by clicking on the link up above or down in the description box. The next mistake that I see a lot of women making is that they're buying trends versus buying things because it reflects their personal style. It has never been an easier time to be influenced by what we see outside of us, whether that's through Instagram or influencers or TikTok or any other social media that is showing us, buy this, everyone's wearing this, this is the latest color, the latest silhouette, the latest style of jeans. And a lot of us are buying those things because we're inundated with these things over and over and over again, and we think, well, that's the trend, and if I want to be current, then I need to have those pieces. But what ends up happening a lot of times, and I see this again and again in so many closets, is that someone will buy a trend because, oh, well, I saw it on an influencer that I follow and it looked cute. And then it sits in their closet. They never reach for it because it doesn't feel like them. So this is where it's so important to know what your unique personal style is. Personal style is not following trends or following what you see somebody else wearing, but it's actually taking the time to tune in and see what's important to you. What style do you like? What silhouette do you like? What colors do you enjoy wearing? Do you like high rise or mid rise or low rise bottoms? Or do you like long skirts, short skirts? Do you not like skirts at all? What are the things that make your style unique to you? And when we can start to focus on the things that we enjoy wearing, the things that we like because of how we feel in them, it changes everything. We're not looking outside of us for what we should be wearing. We're not buying things because it's what the latest trends are in the stores and what we've seen on influencers. We're buying them because they authentically feel like us. So this is another mistake that I think is really something that can have you build a wardrobe full of clothes, but still feeling like you go to get dressed and there's only a couple pieces that you reach for and you're not sure why. So take a moment, look in your closet and ask yourself, have I been buying trends? Have I been buying things I'm seeing on other people because I think that's what I should be wearing, but then when I put them on, it just doesn't feel like me or something feels off? If you answer yes to that, it's probably because this is a mistake you're making. And the easiest way to remedy that is by starting to do a little bit of introspection on what your personal style is. Figuring out what your unique style is will change everything in your wardrobe. Now, this doesn't always mean that you need to skip all the trends, never look at trends, never go online and look at what somebody else is wearing. It's great to get inspiration and ideas from what somebody else might be wearing or what we might be seeing, but take the time and make sure it's a trend that it feels like you. So for example, this technically is a trend. It's a trend that's been going on for a little while, this vest. And I sat with it for a while and I just really liked it. And I wear this all the time. This feels like my style. It feels classic. It feels feminine. It has a very tailored silhouette. So for me, that works with my personal style. So when you're building your wardrobe, when you want it to be full of clothes that you're going to actually wear, if they're going to reflect your personal style, it's going to be more likely that you'll reach for those pieces, you'll wear those pieces, versus if they are a bunch of trends or a bunch of things you've seen someone else wearing. The next mistake I've seen over and over again in women's closets is that they're saving their best pieces. And I feel like this goes back to you're waiting for a different time in your life instead of living the life you have now. So if you have a piece in your closet and it's been sitting there, whether it's a bag that's beautiful or a shoe that you love, or maybe it's a beautiful blouse or dress or something else in your closet that you've just been waiting for some special occasion, or you only take it out once a year to wear it, I encourage you to wear those pieces and use those pieces now. I recently had a client that I worked with that she had these beautiful handbags that she had collected from a lot of different places that she's traveled, and she never used them. They just sat in her closet. Most of them still had tags on them, and it wasn't because she didn't like the pieces. It wasn't because she actually loved the pieces, but it was because she felt like she was waiting for some other time, some other life to live before she could start using these pieces. So what we did was they were up high in her closet, kind of out of reach. So we moved them to a lower, more accessible part of her closet. And we made the intention that, okay, let's start using at least one or two of these bags just in your everyday outfits. She was someone that she was a working mom. She felt she had lost her style a bit. Her body had changed. And so she didn't really feel like she was put together every day. She felt like she needed some help with that. And that's what I helped her with. And when she started using her bags in her everyday outfits, it just made her feel more confident. It made her feel more beautiful, more put together. So stop waiting for some other time to use and wear those beautiful pieces in your closet. Take the time, think about it, wearing them now. How can you incorporate them into your life now? Because this is your life. It's not some other time. The next wardrobe mistake that you're probably making, that I've seen many women make, is that they're only reaching for 20% of the clothes in their closet. So it's probably the 20% that whether they know it or not, but that fit them well, that reflect their style, that are silhouettes and colors that they feel good wearing, and they feel confident in those pieces. But the majority of their closet is sitting there unworn, and they're not sure why they're not wearing those pieces, but they just know they don't reach for those pieces, they don't feel great in those pieces. When they go to put those pieces on, something feels off. So what is it about so many women just wearing 20% of the clothes in their closet? What I say, if you're in this situation, if you're somebody that's been making this mistake, and it's okay if you have, to look at the clothes that you have been wearing. What is it about those pieces? If you were to put some words, some descriptive words on those items, what is it about those? Are they a certain style, a certain color, a certain fit? Are they comfortable? Are they made of a certain fabric? Think about what it is that make those pieces different from the other pieces in your closet, the ones that you're not wearing. So that 80% that you're not wearing, also look at those pieces. What is it about those that you never reach for? Do they not fit right? Is there something a little bit off when you go to put them on? Or maybe you don't love how you look in the color. Maybe they're trends that you bought. Something about that 80% is that it doesn't feel like you. It doesn't work for you. So when we can start to be more intentional with our wardrobes, with what we're bringing into our wardrobes, it can help us see things so much clearer and start making better decisions that are going to help us wear 100% of the clothes in our closet. I had a client that I worked with recently, and we went through her closet, we did a closet edit, and we went through pieces that she wasn't wearing. And we talked about them, we figured out they weren't necessarily her style, or the fits were a little bit off, but she was not ready to let them go. And a big part of that was because she was trying to convince herself to keep an item for some later time, that, well, maybe she'll wear it, even though she didn't love it, because she felt guilty about the money she had spent on it. Maybe she spent a little bit more than she wanted to, or even that she spent any money at all on an item that just sat in her closet unworn. But when we make that mistake, keeping that item in our closet, when we've tried to wear it, when we've thought about alterations and it still doesn't really work, it doesn't ever help us get dressed easier or feel better when we're looking at it. It just makes us feel guilty. So the better way to go about it is to let that item go and to be more intentional when you are bringing something new into your closet. So when we can let go of our past mistakes and choose differently going forward, be more intentional going forward with how we shop, what we bring into our closet, that is where the mistake changes and we grow from it, we learn from it, and we can move forward and have a closet that we love to wear. If you haven't done a wardrobe edit, that's something I definitely recommend doing, to actually see what those pieces are that you're wearing and what those pieces are that you're not wearing. Another thing you can try is once you edit your closet and that 80% of clothes and wardrobe items that you're not wearing, you separate those out, and maybe there's some that you realize you're ready to let go of, they're not gonna work, and you know that the reason you aren't wearing them is because they just don't feel like you, so you let those go. But maybe you have another 50% left or another amount of clothes and wardrobe items left. What you can do about those pieces is start to be more intentional about trying to wear them, making outfits with them. So if you have a separate section in your closet that you can put those pieces, or if you have a standing rack, you can put those items on a standing rack. And then instead of going to reach for the 20% that you're always wearing, try pulling out one of those maybe pieces, putting it with other things in your closet that you already wear, that other 20% that you love to wear, so that you're building outfits more intentionally. And then if you put that item on, that maybe piece on, and you don't feel great, then it's probably a good indicator for you to let it go. The next mistake that might be keeping you stuck is that you default to comfort clothes, especially if you're someone that's working from home. So this is where instead of putting on a cute dress or a cute top or being more intentional with getting dressed every day, you're just reaching for the things that are shoved into your drawers. Maybe they're your sweatpants, your sweatshirts, your old t-shirts, your lounge comfort clothes. And not that anything is wrong with wearing those things. We all like to feel comfortable, especially when we're home, especially when we are working from home. We're not just defaulting to sweatpants and loungewear because we're not showing up for ourselves. Now, if you are gonna go meet a friend for lunch, or if you're gonna go out on a date in the evening, my guess is you're not gonna reach for your sweatpants and your cozy clothes or your t-shirts that are kind of worn out and stretched out. Why? Well, because you want to show up for whoever you're meeting with a certain way. You want to present yourself a certain way. You want to feel confident when you're with that other person. So why don't we do that for ourselves? We are just as important, if not more important, than the other person. Showing up for ourselves means we get dressed, means we put clothes on that we feel confident in. And this doesn't mean every single day, but most days. We don't just default to, the things that just don't make us feel good. We make an intentional choice to wear things that we feel good in, that fit us well, that make us feel confident and good. That's what the new default needs to be. Instead of defaulting to your sweatpants and the things that are meant to be more for when you're just kind of, those couple days a month that you just want to lounge and you're not really going to go anywhere and you just want to be comfortable and not get dressed. But if you get into that pattern of doing that every day, it's not a habit that's going to support the life you want. One of my clients fit into this where she would just default to sweatpants. She would wear things that she didn't feel that great in just because they were easy, because she was working from home, but she didn't feel good. And what we noticed was when we went through her closet, she had a lot of these sweatpants and these loungy clothes hanging in her closet right front and center. So when she would go to her closet, that was like the first thing she would see. She didn't really have to think about anything. She just put those on knowing they'd be comfortable, knowing she could just lounge in those, but she still didn't feel good. So we decided we were going to take those things out of her closet and fold them and put them away in drawers so that it was more intentional when she would go to get dressed in her closet. The thing that was front and center were the clothes that were the ones that she felt more confident in, that we knew she liked wearing, but they felt a little bit more dressed up. But they were ones that she would wear and show up for herself. So that's what we did. Making that small change, that intentional change, really helped her start getting dressed and show up for herself, even when she was working from home. Most wardrobe mistakes aren't really about the clothing. It's more about how intentional we are with our clothes. And we're not saying, I want to have a closet that's going to make it easy to put together outfits, that's going to reflect my style, that's going to work for my body, that's going to fit my lifestyle. When we build a wardrobe with those things in mind, that's when we're going to be able to wear 100% of our clothes, when it's going to be easy to put outfits together, and when we're going to feel confident walking out the door. Without intention in building our wardrobes, we're going to keep making these mistakes. And also grab my top 27 style tips for women. These are the things that I share with my personal styling clients that will help you have and build a wardrobe of clothes that you are excited to wear, that you feel good wearing, and that you'll reach for, so that getting dressed every morning becomes easy, you feel confident anytime you have anywhere to go. So you can grab that by clicking on the link up above or down in the description box. So I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week.